कॉल कर रहे थे।
Recording in progress.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
A very good evening to one and all present here. It's my immense pleasure to welcome you all in today's session on organic brand marketing, social media marketing webinar. Step Up Institutional and Marketing Services is organizing a webinar based on digital content creation. Step Up Institutional and Marketing Services is a well-known digital marketing institute in Delhi that offers high quality digital marketing education. It also renders digital marketing services in businesses in India. SUIMS is a subsidiary platform of Step Up Student, which is one of the leading online education portals. It also provides courses like web designing, WordPress optimization, e-commerce, content writing, and marketing, SEO, Google Ads, and Google Analytics, and many more. Oh, I, Mehek, on behalf of SUIMS, proudly announce that today marks the successful execution of the team's brilliant teamwork. It is a pleasure to have with us Ms. Sakshi Shrivastava, a copywriter and content marketer, as today's speaker. Ms. Sakshi is a marketing professional, experienced content developer, and communication specialist. She has been conferred with the Young Leaders Creating a Better World for All award by the Women Economic Forum in 2018. Ms. Sakshi also heads the marketing department at Healing Clouds. She has completed her English lecture honors at the university determined to always practice kindness, empathically, and honestly with a highly organized, strategic, and efficient mind. She aims at impacting a bigger plot with her ideas and content. I would now introduce to you Mr. Mohit Verma, founder of Step Up Student and SUIMS. He has been exploring the field of digital marketing and career development since 2017 and have extracted insightful learning resources. Over to you, Mohit sir.
Thank you so much, Meg. Thank you so much. It's our immense pleasure to be here. Welcome, everybody. And there are so many students here. First of all, welcome to our guest speaker, Miss Sakshi. Thank you so much for coming. You're looking so much awesome today. Your setup is really cool. So we all are very excited to have you here. So let's get started without wasting any more time. Please.
Thank you so much for the welcome, Mohit. It's such a pleasure to be here. And thank you, Mehek, for such a descriptive introduction. Just one thing I want to add before we start. Actually, two disclaimers. One is I have two dogs at home. So if you hear some barking, excuse me for that. And second is I have prepared a quick presentation that I'll be showing along with the talk. And I also have some notes for myself to make sure that I cover everything and, we don't miss on any important things. So I have that right here. So if I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes. So Mohit, I'm going to share my screen now.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Please share.
Could you please let me know if you can see it?
Yeah, perfectly all right.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. So today we're going to talk about organic brand marketing, and your host, your coach today is Sakshi Shrivastava. Welcome to today's talk. So our agenda today, we have 7 points that we're going to discuss. One is we're going to start with discussing about what is organic brand marketing, when can organic marketing be used. Then we'll talk about the difference between organic and paid marketing. We'll discuss when to go for paid marketing versus organic marketing. Then we talk about the strategy for a successful organic marketing plan. And we'll discuss exclusive tips for a stellar organic marketing strategy. And then I have some really cool examples of organic marketing, mainly UGC campaigns that I've put together for you to review. So that's the broad agenda for today. Now, who am I? So Mehek has already covered a lot of my background. I'm just going to add just a little bit to that. So like she mentioned, I started my career with a degree in English literature. So I started working as I did a ton of internships and freelance work in content writing. From there, I transitioned into copywriter, and slowly that transitioned into social media marketing. Then I went into email marketing, and gradually I started working as a full stack marketer. So I covered almost everything related to marketing. And like she mentioned, I was the head of marketing for Healing Clouds, which is a London-based health tech startup. But there's one update that I'm yet to share with everyone. So as of July, I'm going to start working individually. So I with a heavy heart, I had to resign from Healing Clouds. There's such an amazing bunch of people. But what I'm going to do now is work as a freelancer. I'm going to directly work with clients and with students like you all to help educate and just share whatever learnings I've gathered so far in my career. So I'm a marketer, I'm also a content writer, copywriter, and based on what I've learned today, we're going to discuss mainly the organic side of marketing and branding. So let's start with what is organic brand marketing. So to sum it up, I'm going to sum it up and then I'm going to go into the details. So to sum it up, it's basically a type of marketing where you don't directly spend any money. Of course, there are expenses involved, like for example, hiring writers or purchasing subscriptions like maybe Hootsuite or all these other softwares that you might be using, but these are all indirect expenses. So there's no direct expenses that are involved in organic brand marketing. Let me turn. Yeah, so the main important elements for organic marketing are SEO, blog posts, guest posts, organic social media, user-generated content, mobile optimization, and email marketing. So it's not limited to these, but these are the main pillars associated to organic marketing. We're going to delve into the details in a little bit, but these are the main things that people cover when they talk about organic marketing. So, through organic marketing, your goal is to build an emotional connection with your audience and instill trust among them. So, we'll also in a bit cover, like I mentioned in the agenda, what is paid marketing and when should you go for paid marketing. But through organic marketing, our aim, like the term suggests, is to be more organic, to be more raw, to build connections with your audience and to basically instill trust in them. So when they're making a decision, they think about you instead of all the others that are there in your competition. So when can organic marketing be used? Organic marketing is, if you look at the sales funnel, there's, that marketing funnel that everybody talks about. So it's the user's journey from the first point they interact with your product or your service or in general your offering to the point when they convert and become your client or to the point when they're retained as your client throughout. So within that funnel, so this is the starting point, and then you go down, and as you go, people keep opting out of your offering, and only the ones who convert reach the end of your funnel. So the top of that funnel is basically where the awareness stage lies. Awareness stage is where you educate your audience. So there's a couple of ways you educate your audience. One is perhaps they don't know they have a problem that you're trying to solve, or they know they have a problem, but they don't know that you are offering a solution that they could use. So through organic marketing, it's usually our aim to help them understand there is a gap. There is a gap that they need to fill, and they can fill that through what we are trying to offer. So organic marketing usually fits really well at the top of the funnel, and as we go down, it complements all the other channels of marketing. So it supports all the other channels of marketing. Then we'll discuss now the difference between organic and paid marketing. Of course, the main distinguisher is the cost involved. So you pay in organic marketing and you don't pay you pay in paid marketing and you don't pay in organic marketing directly. But there's also a couple other factors. So there's, the results that you get. So organic marketing, usually we looked at all these elements that make up organic marketing, which is SEO, social media marketing, email marketing, content marketing, all of that. So all that takes time. If you're looking for immediate results, organic marketing wouldn't be the right thing for you to opt for. If you want, for example, if you're headed towards the end of the quarter and you have to meet your goals, then starting with a blog post, SEO rich blog post, no matter how great it is, you won't be able to meet your target by the end of the quarter. So it's better for you at that point to go for paid marketing, because you know that it's a well-oiled machinery. You put in money and you get the results. So compared to organic marketing, where, for example, if you create a SEO rich blog, it's going to take at least 3 to 6 months for it to start showing result. It can also go up to 1 year or 1.5 years. So you don't really know exactly when that tree is going to start giving fruits, versus paid marketing, where you control the results, where you control what kind of efforts you can put in. So for example, if you increase the budget, you increase the results. There's also, you can control where you target your efforts in. So for example, if I have a restaurant in, let's say, Mumbai, if I start publishing SEO rich content, it's mainly going to avoid people from everywhere. There is, I mean, of course, I can keep the keywords as, one of the keywords can be Mumbai, best restaurants, and all of that. But then I don't control what kind of traffic I'm going to generate. But compared to paid marketing, where I can actually geo-target people, I can run ad campaigns that are only shown to people within that area. In fact, I can also control the timings that those ad campaigns are shown for. So if I have a restaurant, I want people to come in between, let's say, 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. So does it make sense for my ads to run, at 3 a.m. in the morning? So I can actually control that, and I have the complete power. I know whom I need to show this, when I need to show this to, or when I need to show this, and versus organic marketing, where I can just keep on putting efforts, and it's going to take a little more time compared to paid marketing, and I don't have complete control over fine tuning the audience that I'm going to generate. So these are the main, differentiators. There's a difference in cost. So the budget that you have, then there's efficiency, there's results, and there's fine tuning. These are the main differences between organic and paid marketing. Yeah, I've already covered this: cost, effectiveness, results. And then we'll discuss now about paid and where paid and organic fit in your marketing strategy. So if I ask you today, if you're creating a marketing strategy, which one should you opt for? You might say you'll opt for organic marketing after listening to this one, or you might say, no, this doesn't make sense. I'm going to go for paid marketing because I want to get, proven results. But from my experience and from the experience of a bunch of people I've talked to in the marketing industry, it's better to be present on all the different channels where your audience is present in. So, for example, if you're only going for paid marketing without any organic marketing, you might miss out. Sorry, that's my dog. You might miss out on actually converting people when they see your ad. So your cost of conversion may be higher, or maybe people look at your ads but they don't know who you are, so they just scroll away. There's this research done by HubSpot where they shared that 40 to 70% of people, after looking at an ad, just scroll away, knowing that it's an ad. So they go for organic results rather. So what's important for marketers and people in general when they're marketing the service or their product is to have a right balance between paid and organic marketing. And it's also good to be, have an omni-channel presence. So be present wherever your audience is. However, make sure, pay attention to when I say wherever your audience is present. You don't need to be everywhere. Even within organic marketing, you don't need to be, for example, if I have a B2B business, let's say I'm a management consultant, I only talk to Fortune 500 companies. And if I am there on TikTok, or if I'm there on Twitch, Discord, promoting my services, it doesn't make so much sense because my target audience probably isn't sitting there. Or if they are sitting there, they're not in that frame of mind to make a decision. They're not looking for that kind of content over there on those platforms. So it's important to know where your audience is, and then fine tune your strategy based on that. When both sides of marketing are feeding your funnel successfully, you know you've found the perfect balance. So when it's the right balance between paid and organic, you know you'll find your audience, and you know you'll convert them. There's also another study that was done. So when people see your organic content first and then they see your ads, there's 100% chance of them converting from a lead to a customer. So it's very important for you to first make a touch with them organically and then retarget them or show them your ads afterwards once they know about you. So now, a strategy for a successful organic marketing plan. Analyze the traffic habits of your target audience. Like I mentioned, know who your target audience is. What does your target client look like? Where can you find them? What kind of content are they looking for? What kind of resources that they need? Just have a very, if not very fine-tuned understanding, at least have a general understanding of where you will find your target audience and understand their habits. What are they looking for? Build an engaging content library. It's very important for you to focus on a great content library so that people keep coming back to you. You don't want people to visit you once and then never come back. You want them to keep coming back to you, and it's going to happen through great content. Let's say you have great workbooks that they can use, or templates that they can download whenever they need, or maybe you have quizzes that they can utilize whenever they need. So just have a very rich content library. People often make this mistake. For example, when they're working on SEO, they mainly focus on link building and kind of stop thinking about the content that they're producing. They focus on creating SEO rich content without actually creating content that the people want to read. So just have the right balance there. Create engaging content library. And use social media marketing to boost organic reach, but use it very wisely. Think about where your audience is going to be and use those specific platforms. Tailor your voice that you're going to use. If I'm talking to Gen Z, I'm not going to use a very formal language. So similarly, if you're talking to Fortune 500 companies, you don't need to potentially use, maybe use memes or use like a fun language. So if you look at my website, I use a more conversational style because that's the kind. I work with startups and SMBs. So that's the kind of people I'm trying to attract. I use a lot. I publish memes and I joke around a lot. So that's just what my branding looks like, because that's the type of potential clients that I'm trying to attract. So know your audience and then tailor your social media marketing strategy based on that. And now I have some exclusive tips for you for creating a stellar organic marketing strategy. Create evergreen content. So, when we talk about content, we also talk about creating niche and very specific content, and that's great. That does work. So, for example, if you create a blog which talks about the fashion trends for winter 2021, it is going to perform really well in winter 2021 because that's when people are searching for it. But once that passes, people aren't going to look for it. And even if they find it, they potentially, because it's winter 2021, it's not relevant to them. So they won't click on that piece of content. So it's very important for you to either keep tailoring your content, keep updating that to make sure it's still relevant, or create general content that fits people's requirement throughout. It doesn't necessarily talk to somebody at a particular point of time. Engage with your customers. So your conversation through organic marketing should be two-sided always. You shouldn't talk at your customers. You need to talk to your customers. Don't just publish what you think is right. What I really like doing in my copywriting work is there's this thing called review mining. What you do is, for example, I provide services related to copywriting. So when I'm review mining, I'm going to look up reviews related to copywriting. So let's say Mohit is my competitor. He's also a copywriter, and I want to know what people think of his services. I want to find the gaps that are there. So I'm going to review mine and look for points that people are talking about Mohit's services. So that will include looking for, for example, people say Mohit is great at his work, but he's not available for me when I need. For example, don't mind Mohit. So I'm gonna then use that and tailor my content based on that, and I'm gonna offer my services, and I'm gonna talk about how I'm available for you whenever you need. So similarly, with whichever industry you're in, whichever product or service you're offering, tailor your offering based on what people are looking for. So engage with your customers, listen to your customers, and have a two-way conversation. And then, of course, make sure your content is mobile friendly. This is a no-brainer. You all already know this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but make sure your mobile is content is mobile friendly. Now, I have some examples of cool organic marketing campaigns. Marketing campaigns, not only they're not limited to what I'm going to share, because I focused on user generated content as a marketing campaign, but there's also a bunch of other cool things that companies have been doing. But let's have a look. So this one I absolutely love. So Starbucks, what they did was they provided this white cup, and they asked the users to start creating doodles on these white cups. They asked them to just come up with anything creative, tag us on social media, and you might, I think there was some money prize, and they were also given a chance to be featured. So bunch of people took part in this, and I actually had so much fun while researching for this one. If you do this after this one, you'll enjoy it a lot. Do look up white cup contest, and you'll see such amazing art of people just on a cup, and it generated a lot of word of mouth marketing for them. Then we have this one you must have already heard of, because it's a famous one. It's Apple's Short an iPhone challenge. It started as a challenge and it's now become so ingrained in the general conversations about iPhones that we don't really see it as a marketing endeavor. We just see it as something that's cool. So that's what your organic marketing campaigns should aim for. They shouldn't look like marketing campaigns, they should look like conversations. So Short an iPhone, they ask people to shoot pictures on their iPhone and tag them and share it on social media. So they picked the winners from them, and they also awarded them with prize money, and they featured their work. Then we have CocaCola, and this is a special one. I really enjoyed this one. It's a share a Coke. So they had all these bottles with different names written on them, and people were supposed to share a Coke with a friend, whichever friend's name was there, or for example, bro or bhai. So that was really cool. So that actually gave people an incentive to start conversations with people. And CocaCola, if you've seen their marketing, they usually go for this very nostalgic feeling. They try to evoke this feeling in their customers. Remember when you had a Coke with your friend, or remember when in the summer of 1990s you had fun on the beach with a bottle of Coke. So that feeling of nostalgia is what they go for, and they used it very creatively in this UGC campaign by asking people to talk to other people, share a Coke with other people. And I think that's amazing. So yeah, those are the examples I have for you. Now, do you have any questions for me? I've successfully talked for 30 minutes, so I'd love to hear from you. Do you have any questions that you want me to answer?
I think we have got one. Should I dictate it for you?
Yes, where is it? Okay, it's on chat. Let me see. I agree. And okay, there's a couple more messages. Thanks for reach out to you. Thank you. I agree. This is really organized way to do marketing. My client don't understand the value in social media marketing, but they value their work. My job is to communicate their value to their client audience. But how can I evaluate my values that I'm going to add to their business? That's a great question. So it's not so much about just a moment. Yeah. So the value that you bring to your customer, it's about introspection just a little bit. So start perhaps with making a list of what you're good at, and talk to them about it. So for example, I do have a lot of people reaching out to me on LinkedIn. Let's say for some would reach out to me for influencer marketing management, and I because I have figured out what my skill set it is, it wouldn't be honest and it wouldn't be just for me to just take up the project just for the sake of it. So it's very important for you and for the the person giving those services to know what they are good at and be honest with it. So communicate that with them. So for example, if somebody reaches out to me and they tell me that actually I want you to help manage my influencer, and it's an influencer management position, I tell them that thank you so much for reaching out. I would absolutely love to do that, but I'm not the right expert for this position. If I know somebody, who's right for that, I usually recommend them. If I don't, then I mention that, unfortunately, this is not what I'm good at. And these are the services instead that I can help you with. This is where I have expertise in. If you're interested, we can get on a discovery call. So, yeah, I think figuring out for yourself is the first thing. And then communicating that properly is, that would be my suggestion for you. We have another message on chat. Awesome. Okay, thank you.
All right. I think we have one more question which a student asked while registering. Okay, so I'll just drop it for you.
Sure.
Here. I think it's a question from an executive of a company, I guess.
Okay. How does organic marketing differ in terms of the scale of company? If it's an early stage startup to a near IPO or an MNC? That's a great question. I did want to address this also. So great that you brought it up. Organic marketing versus paid marketing. Paid marketing, for example, isn't everybody's cup of tea. They might not have the budget to go into paid marketing, or they might not have the skill set. Organic marketing, however, almost everybody can start with it on their own, even if they don't have any particular budget to spend on marketing. So if it's a small early stage startup, you still can start publishing something on your social media, or you can still start sending out email to the already existing list of leads that you have, just to keep a open communication going with them. And you can also maybe publish a couple of blogs on your own, just share your experience, versus paid media where you have to spend money. So it's also, I understand that it also takes like you have to be more confident because you're spending money, versus organic marketing. So organic marketing still fits very well whether you're an early stage startup or you're a big MNC. It's going to benefit you on all stages of your customer's journey, so your marketing funnel. Plus, it's going to be available for you to do without spending any budget, without worrying about any budgetary constraints that you have. Hope that answered your question.
I think I've got one more.
Oh, great. Good evening, everyone. It was a very informative session, ma'am. Thank you. My question is, what do you suggest to the beginners on LinkedIn for enhancing their reach in their particular domain? Which marketing is better for them if they are working for a new startup? I love this question, Shivanshi. Thank you so much for asking, especially because I personally am very passionate about LinkedIn. I post a lot on LinkedIn, and I also observe a lot, observe the engagement that I get, and on what kind of content do I get engagement. So organic marketing on any social media platform is a bit tricky because there is a lot of competition. If you look at, so let's say Instagram, there is so much competition on Instagram. Honestly, I feel like in 5 years time, there's going to be more influencers than general people following them. So it's a very competitive world. What you need to do is, again, if you have any specific offering, tailor your content based on that. First of all, start with optimizing your profile. If you're working on a personal profile, optimize your profile. If you're working for a company, optimize their company page. Start with the basics. Update your picture, your banner, your title, update your bio. It is very people tend to go with very generic like they pick it up from the CV or generally copy paste and just tweaking here and there. But I would suggest you to spend a little more time on your bio and your headline, because it is what's going to set you apart from the others. If you look at people on LinkedIn right now, you'll see tons of people have the same, same old tagline like I help, blah, blah, blah. So it was initially interesting, it was intriguing, but now with so much competition, it's the same. Everybody has the same tagline. So spend more time, understand what kind of clients you're trying to attract, or in general, what kind of people are you trying to attract. Tailor your offering based on that. Tailor your bio, your tagline. If you are a creator, turn on the creator option on your profile so that your content shows up on the top. Add the hashtags that you talk about. Then you can also update your pronunciation of your name. You can add a video introduction of yourself. That's also something amazing that I haven't done yet personally, but I'm going to do because it's really good. So you should also try that out. And look at the time when you share your content. So I would suggest if you're just starting out, share content kind of sporadically. Don't really worry about when you're posting content. Just experiment a lot. Monday, share content at 10 a.m. Tuesday, share it at 10 p.m. Just be very, be very, I lost the word. Just have fun with it. And then look at what kind of engagement you're getting on those pieces of content, which is the time that's working best for you, which is the pieces of content that are working best for you. So just pay very close attention to what kind of content you're sharing, what are people engaging with, what's resonating with them, and keep tailoring your offering based on that. Thank you. I think we have a couple more messages. Thank you for sharing the link to our LinkedIn and my website. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How to create engaging content, because this more challenging, like when it comes to creating content, my brain is totally flushed. Oh, I can relate with you, Ajay. That happens to me all the time too. So instead of, see, one mistake that we make is we kind of challenge ourselves to be creative all the time, to sit and just, open your laptop and you have to be this wizard of words and create this amazing post that's going to get you thousands of reactions and comments. Don't do that. Start small. Start with thinking about what pillar pieces of content are you going to talk about. So for example, for me, I have figured out the main fields of topic that I'll talk about. So that's content writing, that's LinkedIn branding, mental health, because I'm passionate about that. And I also talk about, I have street dogs that I've adopted. So I'm also passionate about this. So I talk about animal welfare. So just figure out what are the main pillar topics that you'll talk about. Now, once you have that ready, branch it out. There's this really cool platform called answerthepublic.com. So when you enter any keyword there, it shows you all the things that people are asking questions related to that. So for example, if it's, let's say, content marketing, so it's going to give me all the results of what people ask about content marketing. And that's the aim, right? You want to tailor your content based on what people want to know. You want to answer, you want to fill up any gaps that are there in the world. So look at what people want to know. Based on that, start creating your content. Start with, maybe if you want to experiment, just share a quote. You don't even have to start writing something. Share a quote, see what people respond to. Maybe share a poll one day. Then, and also keep a mix, variety of types of content you share. What I like to do, for which also get I get the LinkedIn cops around me all the time. I also like to share my personal pictures because I want people to get to know me. I don't want to be this random person on the internet just sharing text posts, right? I want people to know who I am and want them to know that I'm a real person. So you can also experiment with sharing maybe a picture of your work setup, sharing some learnings that you've gathered in all your years of learning or your job. So, or maybe you can just give a shout out to somebody whose content you like. So start with something small, something that's easy. Don't beat yourself up if you don't have the, top quality, long, this 800-word article to share. Just start small and look at what people resonate with most. Hope that answered your question. Hello. Okay, so I have another one from Sayed. Hope you're all having a great evening. Really nice session. Here's my question. What suggestions would you give for personal branding and what's your take on it? Thank you for asking, Sayed. I think personal branding is very, very important. It's very important for you to, for people to remember you. So for instance, if I start sharing something today, I talk about, let's say, the importance of mental health, and then tomorrow I talk about how important it is to work 24/7 and not give a not care about sleeping and all of that. So it's just completely opposite to what I said the other day. So it's very important for you to be consistent. Your audience will remember you if you present yourself in front of them often. So be consistent. Talk about a particular, like I mentioned, pick up your pillar themes that you'll talk about. Be consistent with them, and try and have. So overall, what I'm trying to say is be consistent with the way you appear in front of people. So that's what you talk about. That's how you look. So because it's virtual, how you look would mean, for example, if you see my deck, it's in line with, so sorry about that. It's in line with the way my website looks. I have red and black and white. So when you visit my website and when you see my deck, you will remember that, okay, this is somebody I know. And then if I share the similar kinds of graphics on my LinkedIn, if I happen to be on your newsfeed, I will strike a chord. You will remember, okay, this maybe I listen to this person sometime, and I do remember you might engage with my post because you already know me. You feel like you know me. So it's very important to work on a personal brand. It's important to build connections. It's important to be very consistent. I personally, I believe that's the key for whenever you go for any kind of branding. Another message. Cheers. Thank you for answering that. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you. I have another.
Ask you a personal question.
Yes, Mohit. Yes, of course.
Okay. I've been asked a lot of questions these days about the content marketing and all of these stuff, right? And there's one question which I'm, not able to answer to them very much. See, we all have, thought this, that we all have find it that nobody likes to read and write, okay, as such, because books are kiddish, and we don't like to read such stuff, like long articles on LinkedIn or wherever the blog is being posted, right? We like to post a blog, but we don't like to read someone else's blog, or in a continuation way. So for those who want to get admitted into the video content or voice content, such like podcasts or having a good setup like yours, or let's say being good with the camera, and they still find it very difficult to be in the front of the same, right? They have a lot of good ideas, okay, but they still have to struggle with the setup sometimes continuing with the same. So what are your take on that? What is your take on that? How to combat that fear?
I feel like you're talking about me because that's exactly who I am. Not confident on camera. And trust me, I've been scared to death all day. I tend to say yes to all the events, and then when that event comes near, I'm hoping that it gets cancelled. So, but it's important. The reason I do this is because I want to come out of that fear. It's important to be okay with being afraid and still sharing whatever you've learned. I'll start with addressing the first part of your question. People don't like to read a lot. So I would disagree to some extent because there is this industry, right? There's websites like Medium. You still have, of course, this huge literature world of literature. People are still selling books. Even if you look at all these, let's say, if every other YouTuber is publishing a book right now, and the reason they do that is, of course, one, to look cool, and second is because there is a market for it. Because people are interested. Some of the people are interested in reading and writing. So I don't think it's a dead end, but it is important for people to optimize their content. And for example, if I'm writing a blog that's, let's say, 2,000 words long, what I can do is I can also use that as a script and create a video out of it. I can use snippets of it and create small microblogs that I can share on LinkedIn, or I can share, like a carousel on Instagram. So it's good to repurpose that content. And of course, it's also, I should also use that long written content and somehow find a way to convert it to audio, because audio search is also on the rise. People like to listen to content more compared to reading. So it's good to have, I mean, if you like writing, it's good for you to write, but optimize it so that you can repurpose it and present yourself on different channels. And second part is, if you're not comfortable on camera, yeah, I'm not either. Fake it till you make it. I honestly believe that's true. Just be there in front of camera, acting all cool, have this, setup that distracts people from how scared you are. And eventually, hopefully, people will start believing that you're confident. So it's okay if first time you completely blank out. That's why some people have notes with them on the side that they can refer to if they are. But yeah, try doing it over and over, kind of like like when if you go to a therapist, if you're scared of spiders, they will suggest you play around with spiders and get comfortable around the exposure therapy. So just build that exposure over and over, so that after a while your mind is like, okay, this is something that we have to do, so might as well get comfortable with it. Hope that answered your question, Mohit.
Of course. Being a beginner, I struggled with a lot. And I think the confidence is the key. It's the only thing that can take you ahead, right? And I believe you should take it as a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Just like Spider's example you said, right? One day you have to get over with it. One day you have to. There's no single chance. In the next 5 years, marketing industry is gonna, flip around, and the voice and video content will be more engaging than the text and the. But I do agree with you that you are saying that people still like to read, and it's just the change of medium. I would say it's like digital screens are rather than the books and pages and those. Still, I feel the books has more knowledge in them, more quality in them. It's like actually you're reading something. Otherwise, it's just distractions all around when we are onto medium or let's say any other let's say any other website to read blogs or something, right? So yeah, I would agree with you on that one, right? Next question to you is just one last question from my side. Then I'll just okay. Since you belong to a literature background and you started with your journey in the same one, then you became a content writer, then marketer. You furnished your skills. Didn't you ever give it a thought to enter into the corporate world or anything like that as a full-time employee or something? So what's the key difference between being a freelancer and secondly an employee in the same domain you are?
Sure. So I have been working as a full-timer for quite a while. Even in my last role, I was the head of marketing for a London-based company. So I think I have enough information to answer this question. But to be honest, I worked as a freelancer early on in my college years, and now after working for around 4 to 5 years as a full-timer in the corporate world, now I'm picking that up again. And the reason is it gives, personally, it's of course subjective. This is what spoke to me, and this is why I took up this very scary step. It gives you a lot of flexibility. So, you are free to do whatever you want. You're free to take up the kind of projects that speak to you. You're free to build the work life that you want to have. Of course, so that's number one for me. Second is you build this certain discipline that you don't really through full-time work, because you are accountable at the end of the day. You are your own boss. If you don't get any money in the bank at the end of the month, it's because you didn't take up enough projects or you didn't spend enough time on the projects that you have. So it just builds that discipline in you. It holds you accountable, and I think that's great for anybody who's working in any field. And I think it's just very fresh. It's every day you have something new to do. Everything every day you can pick up a new project that speaks to you. If you think one client is very toxic, you're not stuck with them. You can respectfully end that project and then pick up another one. You don't have to kind of struggle with that particular project. It's just being a freelancer, I think it's a starting step of being an entrepreneur later in the journey. So you start with that, and as you grow, you can build that into your own agency or into your own company. So I think it's very fun. It's challenging. It is scary. It's nerve-wracking, but I think it's good to take this chance. I was speaking with my boss. I resigned 31st of last month, and my work culture in the last company was great. So I was speaking with my boss, who's almost like a friend to me, and I asked him, "Should I do this or not? What do you think I should do?" And he told me, "Sakshi, if you're not willing to bet on yourself, who else will?" And I think that's amazing. If I'm not ready to take this risk. If I'm not confident enough, I cannot expect other people to be confident in me. So I think it's a challenge that everybody should maybe try out once in their life. Even with the main gig, they can have side gig and just try it out just for fun.
That's perfect. That's perfect. That's really inspiring because most of the people out of this audience want to be like you after seeing today, your PPT, your designing skills. Okay, I think nobody would appreciate that, but I want to appreciate that because you have put a lot of
Thank you.
efforts into designing that, theme and everything like that. Just three colors, black, red, and white. This is all about marketers, do, man. That's awesome.
Thank
That's
you. Thank
color
you.
branding. Everybody should, have a look at this one with PPT and PDFs. In case I'm sure that you are comfortable to share your
Of
PDF
course, yeah.
here, right?
Yeah,
If
no
anybody
problem.
wants the PDF, they can drop their email IDs. We'll send you. Okay, within 24 hours, you can have it. You can share it on LinkedIn. You must follow the speaker of today on LinkedIn, on every other social media portals. And yes, we might be waiting for you to be on the YouTube as soon as possible. So you need to take this as a challenge, I would say, right? And obviously me too. So yeah, that is all from my side, Sakshi. Anything else you would like to just end up or to bring to conclusion? Any key points that you just want to give before we end this? Anything?
I think I have a couple more slides left, but don't worry, it's not anything heavy. So I'm just gonna close the PPT because I did spend some time
Please,
on
please.
it. So thank you for joining today's class. You can find me on LinkedIn. Like I mentioned, there's also the link to my profile in the chat section. Thank you so much for the entire team for inviting me. It's been such an absolute pleasure to be here and talk to you all. Thank you so much for joining in. I know it's a weekend and I've already taken up a lot of your time. So thank you so much for making time for me today. You can also visit my website. It's sakshitalks.com. I've actually recently launched it. So I've just made something up on my own. If you have any feedback, I'd be more than happy to work on it. So feel free to share that. And thank you. Thank you so much for joining in. And I really hope I can see you all soon. I look forward to joining in again sometime.
Of course, of course. We would be happy to host you again, maybe on Instagram Live or somewhere else, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Thank
we'll be
you.
ready. Everybody, please connect with the mom, and we'll be having her very soon. I think after a long time, she had this first very webinar, and right, you told me you were nervous. Now I think all confidence is there now, and you can just light it up for the next couple of
Done.
done finally. All right. So yeah, that is all. And most of the people are appreciating you in the chat box, and you can just have a look and thank them personally.
Cheers, thanks for answering that. I started micro video. It's really worked for me. You rightly said, take it till you make it. It really does help. Amazing session. That's really amazing. What were the platform you started with as a freelancer? As earlier you mentioned, class 12. I started taking freelance projects. So I started taking internships, and then as we developed, I converted them into freelancing gigs. I didn't really work on any platform, but you can look at Upwork and Fiverr if you're interested. And you can, of course, start taking clients from LinkedIn. All the best for your future endeavors. Very inspiring. Keep it going. Thank you, Sayed. Amazing webinar, ma'am. Thank you, Neha. Amazing webinar. Thank you so much. Amazing webinar. Thanks a lot for such a great webinar. So heartwarming. Thank you so much, everyone. I didn't expect such an amazing feedback. Thank you. Amazing webinar. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so guys, you'll be getting the certificates very soon. Don't worry about it. We'll be having a feedback form after this one within an hour. You just need to fill it up, and we'll be having your certificates from our team. And that is all from my side as well. And I just want to thank you, Ms. Sakshi, for being here. It was such a lovely experience interacting with you. I've made a lot of notes. Okay, I always look for some people to get some inspiration from, and I've got one. Right. And thank you so much for interacting. Please enjoy your weekend, and see you soon.
You too. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Recording stopped.